Took a while for that to start, actually, Derek. Didn't it?
Man, it took a lot longer than I thought.
So, all right, how are we working this now? So it's only me and Derek today. Hi, Derek.
Hi, Trout.
How are we doing this today? What's going to happen? Are we going to call Nikki in?
No, Nikki's going to call in when she has the opportunity to do so.
So she's going to call in.
She will call in directly on the private line.
The private line.
On the VIP line.
VIP.
Yep.
On the City Talk Fall River line, the phone number is
774-955-0533.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. So we finally got viewers. And we finally got viewers here, right?
Hey.
So normally what happens is...
Thank you to everyone listening in live.
Yeah, thanks to all three of you. So like what normally happens is we'll start the show and then I'll share on Facebook.
Yep.
Because I'm a procrastinator when it comes to that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But today I actually shared and then we started the show. We finally got listeners right off the jump.
It was anticipation. Everyone was probably like, where are these guys?
So Nikki, normally if it's just me and you, we'll just do a show.
Yeah.
That's all that matters, right?
Yep.
But
someone broke their silence on Facebook.
Somebody decided to go on Facebook and give you about 12 paragraphs of her opinion on the latest news story about sanitation.
Trash. No, actually it's recycling.
Well, yeah, sanitation, all of it, yeah.
But you kind of knew when that article came out that something was going to happen. I think you have months that have gone by, all of this stuff, and then that broke the camel's back, and then you knew. I mean, you kind of had a feeling that this was going to happen. Like she was going to make her grand return, and now she's going to come out guns a-blazing. I'm going to love every minute of it.
So when I saw the story, I post on my wall, I post on a few Facebook websites just to get it all out there because truthfully, it's unbelievable that our sanitation or our recycling disposal costs are $109 a ton per month. So like in the article itself, it was written by Joe Good. It's right here. It says that at one point in time, before the bags, and probably before, it doesn't say this in the article, but in 2011, the Herald News reported that Casella paid the city $4.41 a ton for its recycling. So the city was getting paid at one point in time. Now, I remember when the bags first were implemented around 2014, right before the bag started, we were only paying about $19.
Somewhere around $15 to $20.
Right, and between those two numbers, $15 to $20 a ton, and that wasn't that bad. But I know for a fact, and that was based on a lot of Nikki's work when she was first like jumping into these numbers, that the increase, the real big increase happened when we went from these little small blue trays to the big barrels.
Yeah, well, actually, it was more when we went from actually separating the paper with the aluminum and the glass to going single stream.
That's another piece too, right?
That was the start of all of this. And
when you had those little blue bins, you could separate things more easily.
A lot easier, yeah. And what was good about that is that we had the trucks that were separated. They were segmented, so you threw the papers in one section, you threw the plastics in another, and everything else went into the third section, and then you were able to separate it, and that's why we were getting the money, because we were doing that up front, so that was easier for Casella to handle. Now that everything just gets thrown in all together, and with the purple bags, a lot of people are going to try to be more questionable as to what goes in there, even though we have a finite list. We have a list that says you cannot put X, Y, and Z, but people are still putting X, Y, and Z in there, contaminating the recycling stream, and then therefore causing a switch. If you look at the article, when we were under the contract, it was $85 a ton with $25 a ton contamination fee. So altogether, we were paying $110 if it was contaminated per ton. Now that we're out of the contract, it was nice of Casella to give us a break, so it's now only $109, which actually is just $1 less than what we were paying within the contract, which I find to be a little hilarious. But in the large picture, it's really not funny. It's really not a joke. $109 is it's about 40% more than what it is to get rid of our solid waste, which tells me that it's it's almost, I mean, we shouldn't even be recycling at this point if it's going to cost us that much more. It's ridiculous.
Don't you care about the environment, Derek?
Oh, I care a lot about the environment. And by the way, I was wrong. It's about almost 60% more. But I care about the environment though. But you also have to remember, this is costing the taxpayers money. This is a lot of money to be putting out for recyclables, the way we were getting money 5 years ago.
So when I posted about all this stuff, I kept on saying over and over and over again that we need to start looking at the purple bag situation all over again. Because, again, as Derek and I were just saying, at one point we were getting paid to get our recycling materials. Then it started to become expensive for us a little bit at $15 to $19 or $18 a ton. And then once the purple bag situation started, that's when we went from 15 to 20 to 60 to 80. Because now that we're in the single stream, as you mentioned, now that we're under this contract where we have to sort out all these different recyclables, now when you're trying to avoid buying a purple bag by recycling more, and remember, what was the mantra by everybody, Derek? I like the bags because why?
They make me recycle more.
They make me recycle more. So once people started to put all this extra recycling stuff in their blue bins because they were trying to avoid being overly, consuming on the purple bags, the next thing you know, our costs are going through the roof. And I say this many, many times about the purple bags, Derek. The purple bags have not helped the city in one aspect at all. Even if it increased our recycling, increasing our recycling has increased our contaminated recycling, which has then been more costly to the city than any other factor. Any other factor. That's why this problem keeps on coming up. That's why we never let this problem go. That's why Nikki is completely headstrong about this topic, because it keeps on coming back and it keeps on hitting your wallet.
And here's the funny part. We, on City Talk, we called this. We said by the end, we can go back to the tape, and I promise you, if I had time, I will listen to every single one of those. I can tell you right now, we called the fact that this would go over $100 a ton.
I did it in Citizens Input.
You did it in Citizens Input. We did it here. It's almost as much to get rid of our recycling than it is to get our yard waste at 120.
When does it stop?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you right now, and this isn't really a stab in the dark. You're already seeing the writing on the wall for this. It's going to cost more to get rid of our recycling than it is going to be to get rid of our yard waste. It's on that track. It's pathetic. It's horrible. I mean, what else has to happen for this to for us to finally sit down and figure out what our solutions are?
So I just want to say, I want to say to people that are listening in, or if you end up having a conversation with somebody from another town or knows people from another town, like say Somerset or Dartmouth or wherever like that, and they say to you, hey, our town or our city has implemented the bags and we're doing fine over here. You got to remember something. We got a phone call from Nikki?
Oh, yeah.
All right. I'm just going to finish the sentence real quick. You got to remember something as far as what makes Fall River unique from everywhere else. We have this contract problem. We have this direct hit every time we're trying to avoid buying purple bags. Anytime we're trying to increase our recycling to avoid having to be penalized by buying multiple amounts of purple bags, our cost for recycling and recycle disposal just goes through the roof. That is a very, very particular problem that happens in Fall River. That's not happening in Taunton. It's definitely not happening in New Bedford. Why is it not happening in New Bedford, Derek? Because they have ABC, yes, and they don't even have bags. But all these other communities that have bags do not have this problem with their recycling contract that we have. That's why you can't just throw purple bags in Fall River and say, hey, make it work. It's not going to happen. What's the motto? We make it work here. Make it here.
Make it here.
Make it here. You can't do that here. You can't do the purple bags here. Just saying. Hi, Nikki.
Hi.
Is that working out for her?
Do we really have a new city motto?
You didn't know about this.
Can you?
I did not know about this.
Yeah, I think it's working. Hey, if anyone's listening, just text me on my Facebook line and let me know if you can hear Nikki, because she's going to be calling in today. She cannot make it with us. But I just want to say that, yes, I will be reading off. I know you don't like when I read articles, Nikki, but there's a few articles that I found that I need to read today. One of them is going to be the Make It Here, if I have the time, the Make It Here new motto. I'm not really a big fan of it myself, but people in the government love their mottos, so we're just going to go forward with this one. Make it here is the new motto. But before we make it here, before we make it rain, before we make it do anything around here, do you want to talk about that article about the transfer station? Because I didn't mention the transfer station piece purposely because I knew that you wanted to talk about this piece.
Well, I heard you talking about trash, so I figured I would call in before my daughter called me.
Very nice.
Because it's a very important piece in that article. There are red flags everywhere with the transfer station.
Now
All over the place.
I remember you criticizing one of the counselors who thought they came up with the idea that a transfer station in Fall River will attract other communities around us to give us their recyclables and their wastes so that we can make money off the tonnage. Remember?
Oh, yes. And and that floors me. And that's such a huge red flag because at the end of that rainbow, there's a friend who's going to be collecting the beautiful tax dollars that the city loves to collect. That's one thing I can honestly say, and I don't know why our other journalists, well, I'm not even a journalist, but why our journalists aren't picking up on that fact, that when a city councilor is pushing some agenda and their friends are at the forefront of that agenda, I would have to then say, is this just a way for them to get tax dollars? Fall River has an awful history with trash. Years and years and years, we're having trash issues now because our elected officials, some who are still on city council, by the way, allowed other cities, municipalities to bring their trash into Fall River because they thought they were going to make money off it. Well, they did make money off it, but it just didn't go back into the taxpayers' pocket. It went into businesses' pockets. And when you look at the businesses that made money off of that, then you have to question, where are the friendships? And why are we doing that? While I can say that a transfer station or recyclable separation facility, because let's call it what it is, it's a building that's going to collect trash, recycling from other communities, and just basically separate it. So in the city of Fall River, they want us residents to separate our recycling, or they did at one time. But it's okay for other communities to just throw all their crap into one bin and send it to Fall River. We'll just pay people to separate it.
So Nikki,
That's the goal.
I'm trying to look at it from every angle, right? So I'm trying to look at it from their angle, and I'm going to throw a possibility out there. I don't know, and maybe you know, because I don't know every single recycling contract that the communities have around us, all right? But what if other communities are stuck in a similar contract situation that we're in? I mean, I know that they don't have the problems that we have as far as the bags in the contract goes, but what if other companies, for whatever reason, what other communities, for whatever reason, end up with really, really bad contract situations with their recyclables? Would Fall River then be a nice option for them?
Well, it depends. There's a lot of variables when it comes to collecting other communities' trash. When you look at, so my first question is, what communities are they going to take from? So if some of our city councils are going to say our local communities, okay, so then you go local, and our local communities are Somerset, Swansea, Westport, Dartmouth, New Bedford. They all pretty much have their own transfer stations. Or like with Dartmouth and New Bedford, they partner up and they do that together. So I sit here and I say, okay, so what communities are we going to be taking the recycling from? If they're not even able to answer that question, then why are we talking about taking trash from our community? The thing is, we have a problem here in Fall River, period. If we cannot fix our own problems, 9,531 tons of recycling was collected in the city of Fall River in 2015. 9,531 tons. Why on God's green earth are taxpayers going to foot the bill for a facility that is going to collect 90,000 tons? That's 80,000 more tons than we need to even accept.
I guess they're thinking that they have something in place already.
They claim it's to collect money, okay? Has Fall River made a dime off of any of Fall River's recycling?
Never. Well, not within the last 5 years, no.
Right.
But they were making.
Not right. So the more money we put into it, the carts, the truck, the single stream, the higher amounts for the contract, all this money, taxpayer money, by the way, that has been funneled into our recycling, our trash, our solid waste, has been wasteful. It's been trashed. There hasn't been one positive outcome yet.
You knew she was going to do something like that.
If we can't clean up our own contaminated recycling, that's how I look at it, okay? Fall River has a contamination problem. If this is why we're paying, which I'm going to say this, that's bullshit, $85 a ton and not contaminated, $85 a ton with no contamination means we're paying more to get rid of our recycling than our trash.
So our trash, just for anyone who's listening who hasn't been up on some of this information, right now, that article that's on the Herald News is saying that $85 a ton, like our recycling that's not contaminated. Remember the contamination piece we just talked about. Uncontaminated, clean recycling. If you were recycling exactly the way that our contract was supposed to recycle, we'd still be at 85 a ton, which is still 20 more dollars a ton than our regular recycling that we take to Allied at the airport road.
Waving the red flag. So that's non-contaminated recycling, and we're paying $85 a ton.
That's a
So
ton.
open your eyes. This transfer station is going to do what? Fall River will be then hiring more people, right? You know they're going to need administrators and this person and that.
Well, they say they're going to hire a private company. That's what it says in the article. They're going to hire a private company to handle the facility.
Either way, we're still paying them.
Oh, yeah.
Private or not, I don't care who are the people who are working in the transfer station. That doesn't mean anything to me. How are those people being paid? So then you got the
Supposed to go into the $1 million.
Or as I like to call it, Mr. Flanagan the second.
Are you calling Jazel Flanagan the second now? Whoa. Hey, are you calling Jazel Correa Flanagan the second now?
Right now, absolutely. He's Miss Correa Flanagan.
You know that there's a host. You know there's a host of a particular other local show, that's very happy to hear you say something like that right now.
Well, that's fine. I don't really care. I'm not. This isn't anything personal. That's the difference between us and other shows. Other shows can hammer the same people because they're trying to look for things. I'm not trying to look for things. I'm trying to solve a problem.
I hear you.
That we have in this Fall River. So there's a difference between me saying, you're awful, you're this, you're that, and then me saying, hey, how come we're not discussing this? I'm not getting personal. That's not personal.
All right.
I have no personal vendettas against anybody.
I can't just let a comment like that slide on the show and may not address it a little bit. I mean, that's big. Call him Flanagan Part 2.
Well, that's how I look at it. When I'm looking at the details and I'm hearing what he is saying, or when I'm reading, unless he's being falsely quoted by the Herald News, then I'm going to believe what he was quoted as saying.
Yeah, he did say that. I'm just going to read off, just so, because other people are listening on this too, you know. Our goal is to have a small recycling-only transfer facility that would literally cost us under $1 million to start up. The operation piece is the operation cost that's going into the price. Go ahead.
Okay, I want to pause you for a second, okay? He talked small facility. Fall River is one of the
90,000
biggest communities in the state of Massachusetts, and yet we're only recycling 9,531 tons of recycling, which, by the way, is the most that Fall River has recycled.
Right.
The most. That's the biggest increase we've seen. 531 tons.
Well, Nikki, hey, Nikki, hold up real quick. Another question for you. of that 10 tons or that 9,500 or whatever the number you said, right? Is that all? Is that contaminated or is that just clean?
That's a question I'd like to know.
Ah.
Of that 9,531 tons of recycling, how many tons of that is actually contaminated? So when you look at that, right, is it feasible to then say the taxpayers of Fall River should be put even $1 million? If you're going to say $1 million is piddles, right? It's tip change. We're still going to take $1 million and funnel it into something that Fall River, little Fall River, can't even make a penny from?
Well, how about the simple fact that we don't really do a good job of, sorting out our recyclables now? Now we're going to be responsible for even more.
What happens?
Come on.
So then the responsibility, okay, so let's say we stop collecting Somerset's recycling. Is the town of Somerset going to be responsible? So are they going to have trash police go out and check all their bins? No, they're going to send all their stuff here, and then Fall River taxpayers are going to pay to get rid of it. Because trash is not a moneymaker. It's only a moneymaker for certain individuals, and those are big businesses. Big businesses who come in, and I'm going to tell you, I will bet you $1 million that Casella is the one who wants to open up this little facility.
$1 million or just under $1 million?
Yeah, I would say 3.5.
I knew it. I knew it.
1 million is the new 3.5.
Oh, and I was actually going to question: do you really want to bet $1 million, or do you want to go 3.5? Thank you for pulling that out. It's like you're not here, but you're still here. Thank God.
Yeah, it's literally horrifying. I thought we had Jason last when he was city councilor. Where are the scientists? Where are the professionals? Dude, where the hell are they? I'm still waiting for them. I'm not a professional and I'm not a scientist. But I know that if Fall River cannot make money off of 9,531 tons of recyclable, we certainly are not going to make a penny off of 90,000 tons of recyclable.
Well, I guess maybe, and this is just me talking here because I don't know what he's doing yet. If we are collecting recyclables from other areas around us, right, Nikki? We could charge them, couldn't we?
Yeah, I'm sure we could.
So I'm reading it. As I'm reading this article, again, Joe Good wrote this. It says that the city only generates 10 tons a year, making way for the city to take in recycling from other communities and creating a new revenue stream. So just by reading that sentence, just by reading that sentence, I'm thinking that he's thinking that if, say, some other town wants to send their crap over to us, that they're going to pay us the same way that we pay Casella. Does that make?
But the thing behind that is it's foolish to think of it like that. Because what is Fall River doing? We're trying to find a way to make it cheaper for ourselves.
Yeah.
So ultimately, no matter what, even if we did, right? Let's say for the next 5 years it works out perfectly. What happens the next 20 after that? He's not even talking small scale, just got Fall River, right? If you just started for Fall River, I'm down for that. I'm down for a Fall River only transfer station. Fall River residents, businesses, whatever, our schools in Fall River, anything that's just generated in Fall River. If they want to talk that, I'm down for that. But when we can't get any money from 9,531 tons of recycling, we're not doing it for 90,000. There's just no way.
Do you remember?
It's like a scratch ticket. They keep scratching scratch tickets to wait and see if they win. They're addicted to the scratch ticket.
Do you remember?
See if they get a winner.
Do you remember? I know you do, but I'm just going to throw it out there for people listening as well. You guys all remember when our water fees all went up or our sewage fees all went up because our facility was too old and outdated and we had to bring our sewage to Cranston? Mm-hmm. Now, remember the conversation that was being had in the council meeting about the idea of having a regional sewage facility that Fall River could have where they would be able to, take their sewage to and sewage from all of the communities, and we'd be able to make revenue off that. The concept with this recycling is very, very similar as to what I'm reading here in this article for the recycling transfer station, recyclables transfer station. almost it's what it is right now, what the concept is going to be. The problem is when it came to that conversation about the sewage and holding our area for that place, there were a lot of environmental concerns when it came to that. Now, this recycling facility brings a whole other level of environmental concerns as well. Not only from a legal standpoint, right? Not only from a legal standpoint, because there were a lot of legal, actions that were occurring to get the incinerator shut down and, all that kind of stuff. But now we're doing something altogether, a whole other thing in an area that they're trying to actually build residential homes out of. So I wonder if that's going to be a problem too.
Well, I just see it like this. I see them always going for trash. It's always trash that's going to generate, supposedly. And every time they do it, it doesn't. It backfires. We heard it with the bag. Oh, let's everybody's going to buy the bags. It's $3.5 million. It's going to save our city. It didn't happen. So, when they can throw out all the estimations, that they want to. They can. They can throw them all out there. They have yet to be correct. They're always wrong. And they're not just wrong a little bit. They're wrong a lot.
They've been wrong for
millions and millions of dollars.
What's oddly enough is that we've been calling it for the past 2 years.
Yeah, they've been.
What did I say about the transfer station? I said ultimately all this bullshit is to basically get a transfer station built.
You know that she's upset when she's swearing. You know she's upset when she's cursing.
The same city councilor has been trying to get a transfer station. The same one. How much money are they making off it?
Linda.
We will.
Who's going to build it?
Yeah, we will.
Who's going to build it?
Yeah. You talking about Linda Pereira?
There's a few of them who've been wanting a transfer station, but she's been one of the more vocal.
Yeah. Well, somebody.
When you look at people who are donating to your campaign,
yeah,
and when you stop connecting dots, I've been saying for a long time, look at the timeline. That's all I've been doing.
Hey, on your wall.
Collecting information and making my timeline.
Nikki, on your wall where you posted that big post, Jordan Sylvia went on your wall and he made a comment about basically, and I'm only paraphrasing here. He said he's going to come up with a policy how many people out there want to get a free Mercedes-Benz, and see how the voting goes for that as well. It's the same concept when they wanted the transfer station. Hey, we can't afford this thing, but hey, who wants it? You know what I mean?
You know what? If I were a homeowner, a property owner in the city of Fall River, especially a residential property owner, they're the ones who are being hammered. I don't know how they're not out there with their pitchforks. Like, they think that this is so great for them. All I keep thinking is, man, this is just going to cost you guys more and more money. It literally just increased all the water, the sewage, the property taxes. They just increased all that. What do you think is going to happen when they don't make the money? And this is my fear, right? We're going to get into contracts, and I don't believe for 1 second that it's going to be local communities that we're taking from. We're going to hear it's going to be pivoting, surprise, surprise, right, guys? Pivoting, going to get in on it. We're going to see a bunch of different.
Do you see Site Ready as a?
I'm telling you, I'm not done. But I'm not done. This is a very long investigation, and it is nowhere near ending. People have a lot of stuff that they're going to have to deal with in the future.
Do you see Site Ready?
More than I even anticipated in all of this baloney.
Do you see Site Ready as an agency that could be benefiting from all this activity?
Absolutely.
Interesting.
They were one of the companies that was collecting our recycling a few years ago, when the city got the bright idea to buy all these new trucks and to get all the new carts and single stream, they were sending all of our recycling illegally to a company called Site Ready Incident.
All right, let me read this. Let me read this off again, just real quick. Declining to immediately identify the company to operate the facility, Correa said a contract is currently being written by Corporation Counsel for a 30-day trial period. This is a test.
And I hope it happens, baby. I hope it happens. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Phone callers get preference.
Yeah. This is a test. After the 30 days, we do plan on bidding this out.
even became mayor, this was a done deal.
So,
And if Jazel doesn't want the transfer station, then we're going to see other people run for mayor.
so I've been running questions towards the mayor a handful of times, and I haven't gotten any replies. But now I guess this article at least gives me some of an answer as to what's going on. I didn't really ask him many specifics. I just wanted to know what is actually is there any process at all going on in response to our contract expiring, which I believe was October 18th. So it actually does say in the article that the contract expired, and right now we're sort of in a trial period trying this facility out, and nothing's really set in stone right now. Well, the way that you're saying it to me is that it's been set in stone for a long time.
Absolutely. And if anybody says otherwise, they're lying. I got that timeline, you know it. You and I both know it. You look at the timeline is the biggest thing, because you look at when we had the little bins, the little blue bins, and everybody had theirs separated. And that's the only time we were making money. And when I say we are making money, what I mean is the city of Fall River is making money. All right? When we're spending money, when the city of Fall River spends money, they need to look at who is the one making that money. That's the key. Who is benefiting from these things being done? And when it's the same company over and over and over and over, it's pretty obvious what's happening. So didn't I say this a long time ago? This is all about a transfer station.
I mean, it's always been that. It's always been about that. Yep.
That's right. And you know what? They're all in cahoots. If they sit there and say they don't like Flanagan or whatever, Bob Correa started it. Flanagan went a little bit in a different direction because he was a little bit smarter than Correa. And now you have Correa, Flanagan, Scudder all rolled up into one, which is Jazel, and it's unfortunate because he had the opportunity to change the way we deal with our trash in Fall River, and he choked on it. Are you listening, Jazel? You really did choke. You choked.
Hey, Jazel was on your wall a couple of times.
Say that again?
Jazel posted on your wall in response to your post a couple of times on the wall. Did you see that?
No, I did not.
You should jump on your wall. He was saying that he's going to get some no nonsense answers for you, Nikki. That's what he said.
I've been waiting for no nonsense answers and still have not gotten that. What does he mean? Define no nonsense answer. What the frick does that mean? No nonsense answer.
Did she say frick? We're going to have to edit the show?
Money off of 9,531 tons of recycling. How are we making money off of 90,000 when we're now paying people to deal with that 90,000?
It's going to be no nonsense, Nikki.
Yeah, like pantyhose. No nonsense and still get runs in them.
So we're not looking for advertising. Just to let anyone know out there, we're not looking for advertising. Nikki.
Been there for over a year, and we're gonna get no nonsense answers now.
She's
we're not getting no nonsense answers. We're gonna do whatever the hell we want to, and taxpayers and residents are gonna pay for it.
So now that we're here and on this, my focus was the bags, right? So I've been talking about why the bags have been a complete waste of time with everything, explaining to everybody that piece to it. But you have about 3 different tiers of why this probably isn't going to work out. Number 1, you got the bags, obviously. That's a big deal. Number 2, you have the environmental problem, which they're located in an area where I feel as though it's really going to get in the way of any kind of residential activity out there. You know what I mean? I mean, they're really in a bad spot to be running this. And then, of course, the piece where, you know, we haven't really proven that we can handle our tonnage. We're going to take on everybody else's tonnage. You know?
It is a big, huge rate. We're not even just doubling ours.
Right.
No, we're
Like
about 10 times.
Yeah. This would be literally 10 times.
More trash
Yeah.
than we accept. That's what's so mind-blowing.
Could you imagine 90 tons of recycling in that area? In that area? Like where they're trying to build houses and things like that?
Think about how many trucks go back and forth to Lewiston Street daily as it is.
Right.
Daily, just right now. We're talking 80,000 more tons of recycling going there. And here's the other part of it that pisses me off. Fall River receives grants for certain things they collect. So when the state of Massachusetts wants to stop something from going to the landfills, because those are all going to be closed by 2020, which is another thing nobody is talking about. So when they all close in 2020, where the hell are we sending all the contaminants that we're separating from this recycling? Nobody's talking about that, but I digress. When we talk about making sorry, I'm just all flustered and aggravated. I forgot where I was even headed.
Well, you were talking about the landfill closing in 2020.
And it's just the 80,000 tons that I just can't accept. I can't accept that we aren't making any money off of aqua recycling. If they were to say to the residents, the property owners of the city of Fall River, instead of saying, if your tenants don't buy purple bags, we're going to take your car. How about they say this? If all your trash is in purple bags, or if all your recycling is non-contaminated, we'll give you 2% off of your taxes next year, your property tax next year. What if they did that?
I don't think they're going to do that. I don't think they're going to do that.
The goal isn't to make Fall River a better place.
It's to take money.
The goal isn't to reduce our costs. The goal is to generate more revenue than we need. That's their goal.
So it's a money.
It's to take care of stuff. It's to try to make more money, and it never works.
It's a money thing.
Especially with trash.
It's always been a money thing. Always.
We wouldn't have a big trash issue right now if our city councilors of the past and our mayors of the past didn't do what they did with the dump. You know what I'm saying?
That's been the root cause of a lot of the stuff since 2000, I'd say 14, 13. That's been the root cause of it, is the fact that 30 years before all that, a lot of groundwork was not laid down.
Right, and that's my fear.
20 years.
So when you look at the mayor who wants to make such a large facility, even though he's saying it's a small facility, it might be small in the grand scheme of things. But when you look at what we're collecting and what we're generating in our own city versus the size of the building that he wants to build, it's ludicrous.
Right.
You're not dealing with our issue. You're trying to deal with the issues of everybody else. Let all our other surrounding communities deal with their issues first.
Well, we can't help other communities from stop from drowning if we're not swimming on our own. We actually have to show that we could be self-sufficient first, right? I mean, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's just logic. If you have no food in your house and you need to go, you have $20. Are you going to go to the market and buy food for the people in the next town?
No.
Or are you feeding yourself?
No, the problem that I see here is that the article says it's going to be a small facility for $100 million. Now, the hopes is that the small facility is going to be for us and us alone. Now, if they, for some reason, can get this squared away where they can actually do everything that we need them to do and maybe take another person on the side, that's fine. But you're not going to look for this in the next 3 to 4 months because that's just impossible. This small little quote-unquote startup is just going to be something that we need to have on our own for ourselves so we can try to knock down this price, which to me is ridiculous because even at a contaminated rate, you're still looking at $110. Well, now it's $109 because Casella felt generous through the Christmas time and gave us $1 off. But still, you gotta.
It's the same price, guys. It's the same price.
I know.
That whole thing was just smoke and mirrors for dumb people. And I'm sorry, guys, but if you're reading that and you're thinking that $85 plus 25 contamination fee is so much cheaper than $109, you're tripping.
It's not. We know because I would be willing to bet that out of let's just say 10 tons, I'd be willing to say 9 of those 10 tons were contaminated. So you're still paying 110.
You know what?
You're going 10 for 10?
I'm going deeper than that. All 10 would be contaminated because the residents in the city of Carver don't even know what they can or cannot recycle. This is my freaking problem. If we can't handle the 9,000 tons that we have, that we're collecting our own. And mind you, we can even go back. Let's go back to when we were separating them. We weren't even making that much money.
Yeah, we only.
We were making $4 a ton. Ooh. Ooh, that's creating a whole lot of money. old clothing, old blankets, things like that, to stop them from going to the dump. Have we heard any of our elected officials say anything to residents about collecting textiles?
We're waiting for some no-nonsense. We're waiting for some no-nonsense answers,
Nikki.
Nikki. Yeah.
Nobody will bring them down to Lewiston Street if they don't announce it. They'll put them in purple bags to make money for the city of Fall River. When they're collecting all recycling from all these other communities, they can take all those textiles and still get the grant money on top of their own residents buying purple bags.
It's true.
They think they're slick and they're not. It's disgusting what they do to taxpayers. Like, I'm utterly disgusted that every single, and it's all of them, all 9 of our city councilors and the mayor, all of them, you're duping taxpayers left and right. You don't care.
Any politician in this city, any elected official, anybody in the city that have been fully supporting these purple bags they really do owe an apology to the rest of the city. Like, it's a true story. There's nothing.
Linda.
There's no. Well, Linda Pereira was against them at first, and then supported them, and then lied to everybody about them being somewhere else in Florida, and then also came back and now is saying, well, I just think that the people that aren't buying bags now are just, they're just being antagonistic and things like that. And to me, it's just. To me, it's just this. It's okay. You're hyped up today, Nikki. It's all good.
This is why I wish you were here.
I'm aggravated. I don't understand how any of the counselors can literally look people dead in the face and lie to them, and that's what they do. Like, it really is so disgusting. When the mayor said to everybody, when he announced all your property,
She's probably walking around the room, yeah.
Purple bags, or we're gonna take your cars. The fact that not
If she had a wire, she'd be wrapped around in a wire right now.
Any of the 9 counselors said that?
No, I don't think so. Of course not.
All right. So not one counselor came forward to protect taxpayers to say, wait a second. You're not going to take the cart just because one tenant's not buying bags. Nobody said that. Every one of those counselors were perfectly okay with carts being taken from a property, even though that property pays taxes.
But going back to the counselors, though, for real, like any of them that decided to start supporting the sanitation fee when Sam Soto was the mayor, when they decided to support these bags, and when they started, and there's also an article in the newspaper, Nikki, about the union filing their grievance against the city. There's some information about that. I'll talk about that in a little bit if I can. But any of these counselors that were, showing all this support to go into your pockets and take more to support a program that was going absolutely nowhere, they all need to own up to it. Well, you know what's going to happen, Nikki. Nikki, you know what's going to happen, right? Someone like Ray Mitchell is going to say, "Oh, we should have never gotten into this in the first place."
Yeah.
Right? The same person who was for it before he was against it, before he was for it, before he was against it, before he was for it. So
the person who stood behind people who are suing the very city that he's supposed to represent.
Somebody asked me a question on my Facebook wall yesterday, asking me if I supported the mayor in privatization, which then incurred lawyer fees. And I didn't reply to that because it's a stupid question. But I will say this. It is a stupid question because here's the reason why. Oh, you know who it is. Here's the reason why. Yeah. Here's the reason why that question was obviously stupid. Because you cannot be afraid of someone doing a lawsuit in response to an opportunity that they feel is right for the city, and then be the one that incurs the legal fees, be the one that incurs those fees, be the one that's the catalyst to those fees, and then turn around and say, you supported the fees. You supported the legal fees. You can't do that. You can't do that. You can't do that. I'm ready to just throw things at people.
When it comes to the privatization piece, because like I said a long time ago, and I've been saying it since the conversation started, the trash issue we have in Florida goes much deeper than just who is bringing our trash from the curb to Airport Road. And if I hear anymore about whoever is bringing our trash from the curb to Airport Road, I'm going to blow a gasket. That is one little portion of a big pie. And it doesn't matter. It's going to save us money long term. Yes, privatizing our trash hauling, the hauling of our trash, is going to eventually save us money. It's not going to be something that's going to save us money today.
It's not going to save us a ton of money either. Like overall, overall, it's not. It's going to be under 10 million or maybe around 11 million over a 10-year span. That's not a ton of money.
What it does is it stops the benefits, all the little extras that we have to worry about, the union contracting,
all the perks. All the perks.
But at the same restaurant, they're talking about opening a transfer station, which is going to eventually hire people. So that's the bullshit they're going to give everybody. It's going to bring jobs to Fall River. It's going to bring jobs.
Do we have to put a rated R version on this?
That's great that it's going to bring jobs to Fall River. But
when she said "fuck," I knew we were in for it.
bring those jobs to Fall River.
Hey, Nikki, out of curiosity,
They're building houses all over the city. All these little teeny tiny houses all over the city. I guarantee you, in 10 years, they're all going to be empty and flooded up.
I got a quick. Out of curiosity, are you like pacing around right now in wherever you're at?
Absolutely am.
Nikki, I imagine that if you had one of those old school phones right now, you'd be wrapped up in the wire right now. Yes.
Or either that, or you would be all tripped up about it. You'd have fallen over at least twice.
It's just bad. You know, as a human being, I can't understand how, like, any of the counselors can do what they're doing and then look people in the eye. That's the part of it that upsets me so much. Because there's only two options. It's either they're too stupid to understand everything that's happening, or they don't want to. And either way, I just can't accept either one of those.
No, here's the thing. When you talk about some counselors, I would probably say that you're right. Some of them just don't want to know because they don't care. But I do think that there are maybe a counselor or two that maybe truly doesn't know, and they're just being fleeced. The wolves are being put over their eyes. Which to that I say, shame on them for not being able to ask the questions to get the answers that they need. Now
I can't even go by that, Derek.
Why?
Can't even go by that.
Why?
The second the man said, as a property owner, if you cannot force your tenant to buy purple trash bags, we are taking your covers. I don't care what I thought. If I was a city councilor, whether I believed in purple bags or not, that's not the issue. That's not the issue. We're not talking about whether purple bags should be here right now. Should the city be allowed to take trash recycling yard waste carts from property owners, taxpayers, because one tenant isn't buying bags? That's bull. And as a city councilor, if you're not going to back up your residents and at least say, I don't stand behind that, then you don't belong on the city council.
No, I agree. But the great part of all this recycle talk, and the part that no one has even no one's even mentioned this. We still have never. I mean, the recycling, the numbers in the recycling include the housing, include all housing. No one has even come close to mentioning that part too. I mean, you know, if you were to take, I know you have.
Photographs, and nobody cares.
Well, some of the major unanswered questions are basically what are residents out? What is the residents' output? What is the public output? What is the commercial output of all the people that are getting city services? We still don't know that question. We don't know of our 10,000 or of our 10 tons, how much of that recycling is contaminated. We don't know where is this recycling going to go. If we are the facility, 90,000 facility, if we're going to take in all this recycling, 90,000 tons or whatever it is, and we're going to make money off of this recycling, supposedly, in theory, where is it going to go? Where are we going to send that recycling? We don't have the technology to take care of this recycling. So it's going to be a nightmare to really, really figure out this whole process. I think we're running on the seat of our pants right now when it comes to this. I don't think there was a whole lot of planning involved in this. And And if there was planning, we did not get any of this information ahead of time. Not just talking about me and you. We're talking about the public didn't know any of this.
There was no planning. There was just, hey guys, we want to put a transfer station here. Okay, how can we dupe the residents of the city of Fall River into allowing it to happen? Okay, the first thing that happened was the good intentions of a resident of the city who believes in a transfer station.
Yeah.
Okay, and there are many of us who are okay with a small scale, Fall River only residential transfer station.
Only if we have a plan to get rid of our waste somewhere. It can't just sit at the transfer station. It has to go somewhere. It has to be utilized or burned. You can't do that stuff. A lot of stuff you can't do anymore. So we need to know what we're doing with that stuff.
And where are the contaminants going? It's not even just where's the recycling going. Where are the contaminants going? Now, if our recycling is super contaminated, right? And we all know that it is. Come on now, we know that it is. I'm saying the whole 10,000.
Speak for yourself, Nikki. Speak for yourself.
In the Herald News article, they keep saying in that one article it said 10 tons. It's not 10 tons. It's 10,000 tons. It's not 10. It's 10,000. 9,531 tons to be exact for 2015.
Yeah, the article says 10 tons. Yeah.
I know, and it's driving me crazy because it's.
But it might be a typo. That might be a typo, and then even I followed suit and made the same mistake. But yeah, it's the article says 10 tons.
Not might be. It is.
No. I'm just saying it is what it is. I'm just saying it is. She did?
Yeah, the whole thing is just baloney. It's poppycock.
Poppycock. Wow.
Yeah, now we're getting to the R-rated section.
You do realize that we have to put a TV a radio MA on this and with language now and language tag on this. now that we bust out the poppycock.
Oh boy. All right, so.
That's what I say. I don't care how good of a counselor you are. If you can't stand up for what's right, then you don't belong in that seat.
So we're gonna move into this other article here. It's very related to the sanitation piece. I want to get all this out there because number one, Nikki's not in the studio today, so she's on speakerphone. So at any moment in time, one of her family situations can pull her away. So we want to try and get these in because I know that she was amped up to the point where she hasn't posted on a Facebook wall in about maybe a month or two, and she went. Yeah, I don't know.
I was going to say she's been going for a long time.
I'm busy. I don't have time to pay attention to your wall and all that stuff. Right. All I'm saying is that she hasn't posted in a while. That's true. She always tells me what to do. I don't have an original thought of my own unless Nikki gives it to me. All that good stuff. Anyway. You know how that works. At any rate, this next article though, Nikki, members of the Teamsters 251 union stand in the back of the Fall River room. What? Yes. As Mayor Carrere, and I was actually in the office that day at City Hall when they made that announcement, right in the conference room there. The administration and the union representing former sanitation workers with their legal representation were set to head back to Boston this week before the State Labor Relations for a scheduled 3-day formal hearing regarding allegations of unfair labor practices against the city. But on Monday, it was rescheduled for late January, which is January 23rd, 4th, and 25th. I actually, that's around my birthday. My birthday's on the 26th.
Oh, here we go again.
Hey, guys, just letting everybody know, my birthday's on January 26th. That's why this article was important to me. No?
Nikki, if you want to hang up now, I promise you I wouldn't blame you because I still have to deal with this for another 45 minutes. You
don't have to. This isn't important information to you? Okay, all right, whatever. Monday morning, when the case was still set for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, both sides indicated that they were ready to spar. We feel very confident given the facts, said David Robbins, the Teamsters Local 251 contract coordinator and spokesman for the union. And, of course, Kathy and Vivera said she's preparing for the hearing. So they're ready to go, Nikki. They're ready to go at this. This was a big deal to a lot of the city councils when they were ready to vote on the budget, if you remember correctly. Remember this?
I did.
I mean, this was a huge reason why some councilors did not want to engage in this discussion for the budget. Did not want to pass the budget. They were so there were councilors that were so flustered on this topic because of this exact very, very, very important situation that apparently they felt they needed to kick back to January.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know how that.
Right.
It's the whole thing. You know why?
Why?
Okay. Right? Because 30 days would take us where?
Take us to the next year?
Would take us to the end of January now, wouldn't it? We were doing a
so I said-
30-day pilot. It would take us to the end of January, wouldn't it?
Yes.
I see what she's going with this. Okay.
I know you know where I'm going with this. I know you know it's the transfer station. It's going to happen, and all those people are going to have their jobs again.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes sense because then they did mention obviously the 24 city workers.
It won't be everybody who gets their jobs back. Make no mistake, it'll be the people they want.
Well, Nikki, not everybody lost their job anyway. There were a lot of people that got transferred to other city positions, so they could easily transfer into this position. It is a transfer station after all.
Well, no, they also just keep in mind that also some of them did get hired by
Easy disposal.
Easy disposal.
Right.
So I mean, it wasn't everyone that got laid off and they're still looking, but they're gonna transfer into the transfer station.
That's why I said. You see what I said? You see what I went with that?
Cute.
It is a transfer station after all.
It was an easy way
Easy.
for the city of Fall River to get rid of the people they wanted to get rid of and keep the people they wanted to keep.
It really wasn't. To me, it was a little more. To me, it was a very complicated way of doing that. But Nikki, so really, what would need to happen here is you're putting these pieces together. You're trying to put all these pieces together, right? The 30-day period. They come to an agreement. They bring back some of these guys to work at that transfer station. The problem that I'm seeing is that they've said that there will not be city workers working there. It'll be a private contract. So maybe in the negotiation process, I'm just playing your game right now. Maybe in the negotiation process for this facility being managed by a private company, they're also saying, hey, you got to hire some of these laid off guys. Okay.
It basically boils down to what I want. It's not all of the guys that are in the union that get to stay. It's the top few, right?
Probably.
So the top few go in. And actually, if you look at Local 251's website, if you go to their website, you will notice there is actually an article from 2014 where Local 251 actually said they chose a contract with us because they want to open a transfer station in the future. And this is literally on Local 251's website. Okay?
Yeah, that 251 website doesn't always report accurately.
No, but it's the whole idea behind the truck.
Oh.
So they were happy in 2014 about this transfer station, which you make no mistake, which is why they never renegotiated their own contracts with the city of Fall River.
Mm-hmm. I got you.
Timeline. They never renegotiated. So now they're talking about the transfer station. So the city, the administration will talk to the heads of the union. And then they'll go back and forth and decide which employees they want to carry over to the new transfer station and which employees they don't. Now, technically, right, let's say the Local 251, they decide on whatever. For whatever, they drop their case. All the guys that worked for the city under Local 251 are no longer city employees. Currently, they're not city employees. So they can go work for another company and be hired not as a city employee.
Good point.
It's all a game. It's all a game.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of flows together, but I feel like it could be a coincidence that they pushed it to this, but we'll see if all those pieces come together.
It's definitely not. And like I've told many of the guys who worked for the city, for the DCM in the city of Fall River, I told them a long time ago, It's your union. Talk to your union. Your union is not working at full capacity for you. They're working for a certain, but a local 251. Put it that way. Local 251 isn't working for the guys. They're working for local 251. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Of course it does.
It's all about how they're going to benefit the most.
Well, you know, the union isn't.
And local
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Local 251, they have members in many private organizations as well. Okay, so who's to say that the new company that's going to run the transfer station isn't going to be unionized themselves?
Oh, I'm pretty sure it will be.
What if they're already unionized? What if local 251 is their union?
Wouldn't be shocked.
I would be pretty surprised at that, personally.
Well, if they were not.
It's
I would
pretty
be.
obvious to me what's taking place. I said a long time ago.
So they're gonna get sued by the same Teamsters that they're gonna be in negotiation with to hire again. I just don't know if that's gonna happen.
Well, I think. Well, no. I mean,
Well, if you have a company that's unionized with local 251, it could be that they're going to make more money off the private company. They're getting paid with taxpayer
Yeah, but
dollars.
remember 251 has got a beef with the city over good faith practices. So it doesn't. It just wouldn't seem.
They're waiting till January, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're so upset about their contract that they didn't negotiate a contract before Jason became mayor.
As a matter of fact, they didn't do it under like people forget this. People overlook this. They had opportunities to do this when Sam Sutter was the mayor.
right. See, they had. I think they had until January. Was it July 1st?
I thought it was June 21st.
I thought it was July 1st.
Yeah, I could be
June
completely
21st
way
sounds
off.
a little weird.
Yeah,
But they had July 1st. That's when the contract expired.
that's when they were with Jazel. Though.
No, that's when they were still with Sam Sutter.
Oh,
that was
okay.
20
That's right.
That was
Yeah, you're right.
2015.
Yeah, you're right.
So remember, Jazel took office in 2016.
Yep.
So they had July. I keep doing that. July 1st, 2016. Sutter, 2015. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sutter was still in office.
Yeah.
They had 4 months or July, August, September, October. They had 5 months.
That's what his hands is telling me.
Yes, 5 months because I had to count that. 5 months to get the contract in a manner in which they could get it approved and signed or whatever. They didn't do it.
No.
And then Jazel came. And then Jazel came in, and they were on a good faith contract, which to me that's not a contract. Your contract expired. You have no leg to stand on.
You know how counselors and especially counselors consistently say, "Oh, I had to make this decision because my back was against the wall." Right?
How about the 2013 or 2014 budget? Wasn't that what they did? That was exactly what they did. Because the purple bags and all this, we have to make this decision. We have to approve this budget because my back is against the wall. Oh, will you approve this budget? Yes. Every one of them, except I think maybe one or two didn't actually approve it, but that's another story. But yes, that has happened before. It is it's part of the playbook.
Who's to say that it wasn't a tactic to say, "Hey, no, we won't negotiate now. We'll wait until after the election. We'll wait until everyone's back is against the wall."
Of course it was.
Guys, remember Ken Pacheco literally sat there and said, what am I supposed to do with all these guys that are 50 to 60 years old? Think about it.
I ain't busting no sidewalks. That's what he said.
It's what the young bucks are for.
That's what the young bucks are for.
And you're right, because look, I mean, we make mention of the fact that Sam Sutter had 5 months to do what he had to do, but then you got to realize if the local 251 was that afraid of anything, if they were that afraid, knowing what Jazel wanted to do, they would have tried to get something with Sam. But what ended up happening? We read an article. Well, what happened? We read an article saying, first of all, Sam kept canceling meetings. I believe he canceled 5 out of 7. If the number is correct, or 4 out of 7, I knew it was well over half. But if 251 is putting on this whole show because of this, and now they all of a sudden deem it not as like they deem this whole important thing to be, oh well, we can push it out 30 days. 30 days ain't gonna make a difference. We'll do this next month. But you know just as well as we do, and you're seeing the whole thing. You're right. It is the timeline. It's also what makes sense. And what makes sense is it's if they want to do this 30-day trial, they're going to do this 30-day trial. They're going to get it. They're going to get a company in. And who do you think is going to be backing the company that's doing this 30-day trial? What union do you think is going to be backing them up?
250 plus one.
250.
It might not be publicly that they back them up.
Right, but
they'll say their backs were against the wall. If we wanted our guys to have jobs, this is what we had to do. That's what they'll say. But and I'll reiterate what Derek said. Before Jason became mayor, when he was a sitting city councilor, he said how many times that he would privatize the trash haul? Multiple times, over and over and over again. They knew that once he got elected, that's what was going to happen. And they did not negotiate their contract before he became mayor.
It's just City Talk Fall River.
Which is why I always told the guys in the DCM, want a union.
I just Snapchatted City Talk Fall River on my wall.
You had a who?
She's like, yeah, who?
He Snapchat Nikki, you have to. This is kind of funny because the way you're coming across. I like to call my iPad Big Silver because it's just a great joke on a certain city councilor. I have it standing on its side, open. My phone is literally sitting up against it, and the speaker of my phone is on the microphone, just so you can come in somewhat clearly.
We are Snapchatting City Talk Fall River.
It is. This is pretty hilarious on how this is all working. This is so like MacGyver-esque. You're on my phone, and he's doing, and you're on the VIP line, quote unquote, and TJ is Snapchatting on the regular landline.
Want to thank everybody for listening in. We got another about 40 minutes or so to show. We spent the entire time talking about sanitation and trash because there was a couple of new articles out there. One talking about Jazel Carrere's plans on becoming the recycling center of Massachusetts or something to that nature here with 90,000 tons of recycling. And then also the scary union debate with the city that has caused city councilors to not want to vote for budgets. So
I still think the biggest news of the week by far, Nikki back on Facebook. That's still the biggest.
Yes.
That trumps everything.
Trumps.
We're
gonna have a conversation about Trump too.
No.
Okay. All right.
Just plan words.
You just happen to say that.
Just let it be.
So thanks for listening, everybody. The phone number is, if you want to have any kind of conversation with us about it, the phone number is 774-955-0533. That's not the VIP line. That's not the line that Nikki's on, so you're not going to interrupt Nikki being on the line. No, if you want to call in.
She's on the VIP line.
That's what I just said. I said my line is not the VIP line. Your line is. So you can feel special. You should see his face. He feels so special right now.
The trash line instead?
No.
Yes, actually, I like that.
The trash line.
Dirty talk, Fall River. So there's other things going on in the city besides sanitation. I want everybody to know there was a very nice, large Christmas parade that happened in Fall River recently. Nikki, did you go to that?
I did indeed.
What did?
I always go. I actually enjoy the Christmas parade. I love it.
What did you?
I do love it.
What? Anything memorable about that parade?
Angels Anonymous was in it.
Yes.
So Angels Anonymous was in the parade.
Yes.
I'm a part of Angels Anonymous, but
so am I.
But neither one of us were there. Neither one of us were there. I personally don't go in parades with Angels only because it's like stuff like, because of the politics and stuff like that. I stay clear of that. But I do appreciate the guys being there. They said they had a great time, and I appreciate the people who helped us get involved in that parade. So that was really nice of them.
Yeah, I was pretty happy to see them. I was excited. I was like, yay! It was a very great surprise.
Yeah.
And then see Melissa and Tony and Joe. I was very happy.
There were thousands of kids there, right?
Yes.
Yeah, thousands.
And it was a very long parade. The only thing I will say about this year seems to be a little more disorganized. It's usually a little more organized. There was a lot of space between each group coming, so that was one thing I noticed. But I love when we've got the bands, like the high school bands from surrounding towns. Portsmouth did an awesome job. They were awesome. Case, I believe, was there. I just like the parade. I think it's great.
So, when Nikki, next year, are you going to petition to have your favorite float in there, Oscar the Grouch, because he's in the trash can?
If I would have known that Angels was in the parade, I would have helped be crafty a little. I would have decorated it. I would have helped.
Was the decorations not enough on the float on the trail and everything?
I'll be honest. I just got distracted. I was surprised to see everybody, and I ran out in the street to say hello to Melissa. So I really didn't see what was on the truck.
From what I hear, it was fairly decorated.
Was there a volcano involved in it?
No.
No. Okay. Just curious. So asking out of curiosity more than anything.
But no, I mean,
Handsome elf, I have to say.
What is it?
I said Joe made the most handsome elf.
Well, we'll definitely let him know that. He'll be very happy to hear that.
I'm posting on Facebook. I'm posting on the City Talk Fall River Facebook page. So anyone that wants to see our page, just go in City Talk Fall River. Type that in your search, and you'll be able to catch our page. I'm actually posting a link to. You know about the big fire that happened out in 5th Street?
I do.
Yeah, so it displaced about 30 residents, and the Herald News actually had a nice.
The kids go to school with my daughter.
Nice. Well, from what we understand, nobody got hurt, which is awesome.
Yeah.
But a lot of people did get displaced out there, and it's obviously ice cold, freezing out there. So obviously, if you know anybody involved or if you know anyone that needs anything, let us know, because I think that we collected a lot of clothes, a lot of coats and things like that on Thanksgiving Day when we did our dinner. So that you guys can contact me at any time on social media. Let me know if you know anybody that needs some clothing or a coat or anything like that at all. Because about 30 people got displaced out of this fire in 5th Street, but fortunately, nobody got hurt. So on Facebook, on City Talk Fall River Facebook page, I'm going to be posting the link of the Herald News where they showed about 30 or 40 pictures of people getting helped out and stuff like that. So it's really nice.
Did they say how the fire started?
I haven't read the story yet about it, so I'm gonna have to double check on that one first. I know that I saw the photos. I didn't read the story, but the most important thing was that nobody got hurt. So I saw Jason Burns post that, who's the union leader of the fire department in Fall River. He posted that and he said nobody got hurt. So then I shared it and said thank God nobody got hurt as well. But as far as reading the entire article and figuring out what happened, didn't see any of that. So.
You know, we should have Jason, if he's listening, he should call in and just let everybody know, like I know a lot of fires, especially this time of year, start because of space heaters, those little electrical space heaters, Christmas trees, or things like that. Like people who may turn on a gas space heater and not realize that they need to vacuum it out first. Or, maybe we need to have somebody call into that. I'd like to hear some things, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Give us some do's and do nots. Yes. I'm going to find the article. Probably going to take me a minute to find it. But in the meantime, Nikki, why don't you tell me what you think about this new motto? The new motto for the city is "Make it here." I think that they're stealing the motto because it sounds kind of like New York.
If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere.
You can make it anywhere. I mean, are they trying to steal that kind of thing? I don't know.
I think it's sort of a. I think it's sort of a play on the manufacturing piece of you can make things here.
Which is great because there's always been a lot of things that I just don't made in Fall River. I just don't think that should be our hook.
No, it's not my first choice. I actually am not a motto person. I don't really care too much about mottos. It's not really a big concern of mine.
Yeah, me neither. I just don't understand the point of a motto.
But they spent $100,000 on this whole process. I'll read off real quick what's going on. Last week's reveal of Mayor Jason Correa's preferred slogan, "Make It Here," as the city's future branding campaign phrase wasn't the big ta-da that is expected to come next month. But Correa and his consultants aren't the first to come up with the brand name "Make It Here." In April, the global investment banking company Citigroup rolled out its "Make It Here" campaign, according to Advertising Age. According to Advertising Age, the magazine that follows marketing and media. So we had to do a check. They had to do a check on the U.S. Patent and the Trademark Office to see if it's okay to use the slogan. I guess it's okay. Correa's marketing effort to date cost $100,000 after hiring 2 consultants to help with creating the branding and helping with developing a marketing strategy. The consultants are helping the administration to form a nonprofit marketing board that would help raise funds for future marketing plans and events. So I'm not going to go through the rest of it, but $100,000 for this process. $100K. Make It Here is 3 words, right? So it's about.
Every time I hear it, I'm singing Frank Sinatra.
So you're ready to go to New York, even though you've.
Make it here, I'll make it. No.
So what is it there? Citibank's spokesman Drew Benson said that as long as the city doesn't use the trademark slogan involving banking or financial services, there will not be a conflict. That's pretty cool. That was nice of them.
Looking at patents, if you can.
Yeah, but what does that mean if they don't use it in a banking context?
So,
what does that mean?
So no, what happens is with patents, you can have the same kind of thing used for 2 different things. Like for example, you can have a saying, and in this case, this is what they want to do. If the whole thing with "Make It Here" with Citibank is that's dealing with financial. Now, if a city was to take the slogan and say "Make It Here" and they were to advertise it, they're talking about doing something within the city, and that's fine. But the minute that the city uses that in any kind of a financial term, then that's when they are in a breach of. That's when they breach the.
They just don't want any competition.
That in like 10 years we're getting sued.
Pretty much, I'll go with that.
But Citibank simply doesn't want any competition. They don't want somebody in head-to-head competition with them using the same slogan, which obviously makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't know. I don't think this is going to be much of a conflict because I honestly don't think that this is going to really make a huge dent in what we need to do in the city to improve it. I'm just not looking at this as something that's going to say, hey, wow, things really turned around when we turned the logo into, or the slogan into "Make It Here." I just don't see that happening.
Because you can make it there.
You can make it anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I can't.
I'm sorry. I still like "Will Try." I like the
underdog.
No. I like where the original meaning of what "We'll Try" is, and I think that truly is what the city was back in the day. And granted, should we have revamped it a long time ago? Yeah, but I understand if I had to make a choice between "We'll Try" or "Make It Here." Yeah, "Make It Here." It's not making me want to.
I am going to play the game here a little bit because even though I don't like mottos, I don't think mottos matter. I will say that if I had a gun to my head, and I don't know why somebody would put a gun to my head for this,
You're in Fall River, by the way.
I am in Fall River.
You are running for city council.
That is true. That is true. If I had a gun to my head and I had to choose between the 2 mottos, I really, really do not like "Will Try" at all. I've never liked "Will Try." I'm not even kidding. That is a cop-out. Go clean your room. I'll try. Go do your homework. I'll try. Go pay your bills. I'll try. I don't like it.
Isn't that what we do?
That's a problem.
What we do.
That's the problem. I think that we should have had a conversation with George Lucas. Do or do not. There is no try. That's what we should have had. I would have had a conversation with George Lucas about that. Do or do not. There is no try.
All right, Yoda, relax yourself. I got
All
that.
right,
I got that.
You saw the vein coming out of my neck when I was saying it?
Should be we're all cousins.
I thought that's something that might be
Stop.
that might be something in Virginia. Or
Stop.
I don't know,
Stop.
Or-
No. Don't say that. Don't say that.
Many people in Fall River, watch out.
All right.
No.
No, we can't be insulting Virginians. So that's that.
By the way, that was a joke. Thank you very much.
So that's that. That's enough. That's enough conversation about the motto that I've wanted to have.
Say we tried.
Yeah, we tried.
Nice.
We tried. Make it rain. Now, there's another article. There's another article out there right now, Nikki, and
Another one drop.
There's a lot of them. There's a lot of them because I gotta tell you, the articles have been compelling this week. I'm not lying to you. They've actually been. I've been reading them. They have been actually well written and compelling this week. I'm not lying to you.
Who's the one writing all the articles? Joe?
No, Joe wrote a few of them, but this one is by Kevin O'Connor, and this talks about how the unions at BCC, two unions, voted a no confidence in the leadership of handling this sex discrimination case that occurred at BCC.
Which thank God thank God that this is actually happening. I cannot this article should have came out months ago, and I applaud Kevin O'Connor for finally making this public and for finally putting it out there. I mean, I do know a little bit about what this article is about. I know the history behind it. I just don't like how the person that this is about has been treated and how they're continuing to be treated. I hope that this finally puts an end to it. I hope that she finally gets hopefully she gets what they've awarded her. So we'll go with that.
So what she has been awarded is $2.45 million out of judgment after a trial on her lawsuit contending she was harassed and discriminated against by other officers on the department that her complaints were ignored by BCC administrators. So she was awarded $2.45 million on that. Basically, she was a police officer, or was she like a campus police officer?
Campus police, yep.
Yeah, campus police officer who claimed that she was getting harassed by male police officers on campus.
And if I'm not mistaken, part of that money is back pay, right?
That is correct.
Yeah. So there was a big.
Falsely fired?
What was that?
She falsely fired?
Yes, that's the one.
Because of her complaints. Okay, I'm just making sure I'm on the right article.
Yeah, that is exactly the article we're talking about.
Not going to read the whole thing, but there are two key points that I wanted to point out here. Number one was what she was awarded and why, but also the college has failed. This was a comment by a faculty member and the head of. There's all kinds of acronyms here, MCCC, but she said that the college has failed to give any appropriate consideration to these issues. The issues that led to this sexual harassment. So the MCCC means Massachusetts Community College Council. BCC leaders called for a campus-wide meeting immediately after the Superior Court Judge Angel Kelly Brown ruled in favor of Officer Ledoux. So there was a big deal here. There's a lot of people that don't feel safe on campus. They said that they said that the system is very broken, and that was a math professor and also a president of the MCCC. So there's a lot going on there. A lot going on there as far as safety issues, sexual discrimination, harassment, everything. So
yeah, and then one.
Unfortunately, it happens every day.
I can't say it. I can't say anything.
Derek was about to say something, but he realized how inappropriate he was about to sound when he said it.
Nope, it wasn't that, but I just can't. I can't make a comment.
See?
I know something else, but
see this dude? You see this dude, right? Nikki, how were you treated? How were you treated when you were on BCC when you were doing City Talk Fall River?
I didn't talk to anybody. I went in our little shack. I mean, I can't say. I personally, to me, being a female, the people that I was surrounded by, Keith was awesome. You know what I mean? Like I can't say that I was treated any differently.
Ben Farabini wasn't trying to do anything slick over there.
Ben Andrews, get it right.
Ben Farabini, remember him? Yes.
No, all those guys are great. Steve, very helpful.
Yeah, I can't say I've seen it. I didn't take any classes or anything like that, BCC, so I don't know anything about that. It's a very unfortunate situation, though, but at least, I mean.
Not there, but I can say as a woman, like, it does happen every single day. I've had work environments where it's had it happen. I worked in a place when I was young. I was 18, 19 years old. I worked in a place and somebody had written something on the men's room, the bathroom wall. One of the guys who worked there, and it was about me, one of the guys who worked there cleaned it up, and then whoever it was rewrote it. So I have experienced it, and I'm almost certain every single woman that you talk to will give you some story about some form of harassment, without a doubt.
The only thing that I kind of wanted to say was you can't put a dollar amount on, you know, the situation. Like, she got $45 million. I'm sure she's gonna put that, you know, she's happy she got that, I'm sure. But you can't put a price on feeling safe or not feeling harassed or things like that. But what the positive that does come out of this, though, is that uncovered a really, you know, a really bad situation or a dirty secret that's been going on around there. So hopefully there's more alertness, there's more reporting, there's more engagement in this, so that way somebody else doesn't have to come out of this and sue and, you know, file and all that stuff.
The only thing that I also hope, just to kind of go off of what you just said, was that, you know, there were people that were that were responsible for this, and we're not just talking about the police officers. There were people that were above. I would hope that with this vote of no confidence and with everything that's been said, that the people that have that caused all of this, that caused this whole chain of events to start, I hope they're also looked at, and I hope that they're either reprimanded in some way, shape, or form, or so I never wish to see someone get terminated. But if this is something that is terminatable, if this is what they deserve, I think that's what they should do, and, you know, that's just my opinion. I think this needs to be something that can't happen again. It's definitely, it was crushing to the police officer. So I just hope that this is all thoroughly reviewed and the right actions are taken so this doesn't happen again.
Well, I hope so too. But when you have a president who talks the way that we've heard our
Obama?
president-elect,
I was gonna say Obama talk.
I'm not so sure.
Is he talking?
Can you get it?
We can hear you.
Yeah, man. You said president. I was like, Obama didn't say nothing about no ladies.
I said president-elect.
No, I know. I heard you after that.
First, and then I said president-elect.
I know. I heard you.
Yeah, when you got him talking the way that he's talking, it doesn't bode so well. You know what I mean? It kind of gives it a little push for somebody who might not have done it to actually do it.
Greatest president-elect of all time, Nikki.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I got really quiet on that one. Everybody's opinion. There are going to be some people who do think he's the greatest, you know, to ever live, and I hope that we can say he's the greatest president ever. I want to say that. 100%. I want to say that he is the greatest president we've ever had.
Don't we always want to say that?
Yeah.
I mean, it's true.
I can honestly say I'm not looking forward to this man being our president currently.
I feel as though no matter what, and he actually addressed this himself. He said this himself. I could stand on Times Square. I can shoot somebody in the head, and the people will still love me. He said something to that nature, right?
He did. He said it.
He can literally do whatever he wants, and there will be somebody on Facebook or somebody out there in the media or somebody out there in the world, or in the country at least, that's going to say, oh, no, he's great, we love him. It doesn't matter what he does now. It doesn't matter. Like, no, if you have an opposing opinion, you will be insulted and you will be ignored. And that is now the norm, no matter what. And it's interesting.
And I find it interesting that as he was on the campaign trail, he was gung-ho about locking up Hillary Clinton. And the other day at one of his rallies, he was either yesterday or Thursday, at one of his rallies, they started chanting, lock her up. And he said, we don't need to do that anymore. It's like, no, it's
Right.
okay. That worked before the election, but I became president, so it's all right. It's all good now.
Say whatever you need to say, get the position, and now he's going to be whatever in the world this person is going to be, and we gotta band together to make sure it doesn't hurt anybody or whatever in the process. I can't wait to see what's going on. There's a part of me that just wants to like see this and then be like, come on, like this is what you guys wanted, right? But at the other side, it's like, just like you said, we need him to succeed. We really, really do.
Yeah.
So you don't want to see all the things that you think are going to happen. You know what I mean? You don't want to see that. You want to think differently. You really do. But I'm sorry. I think the way I think, and I just see an absolute disaster on the horizon. There's just nothing I can do about it. Hopefully he proves me wrong. That's all I want, is to be proven wrong. That's it. So there's one last article that you got to read, man. Nikki, you got to read this one. You got to read this one. I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'm just going to give you a couple of instances here. So Jazel Correa ran a masterful campaign last year. He ran a great campaign last year. There's no question about it, because the deck was completely stacked against him. Number one, he's never won an election. He never won an election before that. He didn't win his council seat, right? He was appointed his council seat because he came in 9th or 10th. I don't know what that feels like. So he almost, so he didn't win the seat, right? So you got that going on. Then you had the whole craziness with Will Flanagan and all that, right? Then you have the fact that he was the youngest mayor ever, or youngest person to even try to run for mayor. And he actually beat somebody who was very, very well entrenched and established in Massachusetts politics, in Sam Sutter.
I like how you used the word entrenched.
So that's exactly what Sam Sutter was and is still to this day.
In his trench coat.
Oh, I gotcha. So Jazel Correa did a great, like I'm talking from an objective angle here. He did a masterful job. A masterful job of running for mayor of Fall River. Now, along the way, one of the biggest things that he did to sway people his way was he criticized Sam Sutter on hiring friends, right? And criticized the amount of legal fees that Sam Sutter amassed while he was the mayor for just a short period of time. And Joe Good goes in there, and she goes in and she starts breaking down a lot of the things that Jazel Correa is now doing, that he criticized Sam Sutter of doing when he was running for mayor. And it's interesting that we bring this Hillary Trump thing about sending him to jail, but I got what I want, so now it doesn't matter. And it's interesting now that Jazel has the position, is he now being guilty of doing the same things? And she presents this, and we all know that Joe Good and Jazel Correa are like, they're at odds. We seen it on Facebook, you know.
I did not know this.
Oh yeah. There was a bumping of the heads a couple of times on Facebook on a couple of things. So we already know that Joe Good is a union supporter. So she was not in favor of him.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, she has like a union. I think she has like a union seal somewhere, something like that, like a union logo somewhere.
It's tattooed. Tattooed.
But at any rate, she's a union supporter, and obviously she didn't favor Jazel Correa doing what he did with the layoffs of the union guys for sanitation last year. So she is going in on this, and I'm pretty sure her information is accurate. I went through a lot of it so far, and it's really she makes a compelling argument that Jazel Correa has been just as guilty, if not more, than Sam Sutter as far as the legal fees go. I will say this though, that 10 taxpayer lawsuit one, that one shouldn't be a part of this. Right. That should not be a part of this, because that was just something that they conjured up together to try to throw out there, and then they're going to turn around and say, oh, you were responsible for the fees on this. That's just ridiculous.
He can't. I'm not holding him responsible for that, and I'm not holding him responsible for what's going on with the PM union, Local 251. That's not Jazel's fault.
Yeah.
Call a spade a spade. They wanted their contract negotiated. It should have been done before he became mayor.
Yeah.
They waited. That falls on them. That doesn't fall on me. Sorry.
Yeah. So you read that article, take a look at that article, see what you think about that article. All right?
Absolutely.
All right. Are you done? Like, are you back on Facebook? Are you done on your hiatus? Is this over?
I don't know. I told you a long time ago. At first, it was for monetary purposes. I needed my money elsewhere. And then just to go back on, it's like, I feel like I was vindicated now with them talking about so much fake news. Remember, I told you I was so empathetic. Like, I'm a very emotional person.
Yeah.
So when I'm seeing a lot of things, like, it was very mind-blowing that very intelligent people were saying some of the things they were saying or sharing some of the articles that they were sharing.
Fake news is the hands-down winner of 2016. Yeah. Hands down, not even close.
I feel vindicated because of that. I'm like, because that was probably the reason why I couldn't be online. I was getting emotionally, I had conversation with you, I'm pulling my eyes out. Like, I can't see other people intentionally hurting someone or calling somebody down the way that people have been doing it. I can't do it. I don't like, when I'm hearing people call other people porch monkeys or terrorists and this, I'm not that kind of individual, and I don't want to see that every day. So I'll talk politics with anybody who wants to talk politics, but I'm not going to go down in the dirt like most of the people go. They want to go down in the dirt and stop insulting. And it's an intelligence level. If I'm talking to you and I'm proving that an article is false, but you're going to stand behind that article, like, I have nothing to say to you. I don't want to talk to you.
Right.
And we don't get many people like that online. I can only block so many people. So that's where I don't know. If I go online and it's too much of the same baloney, maybe I'll only go on when I need to post what I want to post. I had to post yesterday because the recycling, the transfer station blew my mind.
Sure, you're reminding me of The Undertaker in WWE, where he just shows up whenever he wants and then goes away forever, and then you come back. And
you know what's so funny is he may be like him and Steve Austin are my favorite wrestlers.
Oh, nice.
I am going to make a couple of points here in this last one. I guess there was an article, Representative Joe Kennedy talked about Rob Gronkowski, Donald Trump, and building a stronger Fall River. 3 topics that all blend in together, I'm sure. But anyway, he made some points about Fall River. I'm always skeptical about our representation, our congressional representation. I don't think it's been very good, and I'm just being real about it. I'm not even being like anti-government when I say it. I really feel like, and I know people didn't like him, like people loved him and hated him at the same time. But Barney Frank, no one represented this city better than he did. This is a true story.
Amen to that.
And
it's a true story. I'll stand behind that statement 100%.
And I'm not saying he was great and exalted on every level, but if we're going to compare who has helped this city the most from a congressional standpoint, it's not even close. It's not even close. So anyway, the idea is ingrained in the very fabric of Fall River. You know what it is like to fight twice as hard, often with half the support you should get. One way to get more support and a better chance to succeed is to find allies, Kennedy said. With that, he pushed the idea that the Chamber of Commerce and Mayor Jazel Correa have been supporting for the past year. It's time for Fall River, Taunton, New Bedford to work more closely with Providence to form one economic zone, Kennedy said. There is a clear opportunity. All right, you got that? There is a clear opportunity to build an economy unique to this area, and the foundation already exists. It would be an economic, when he said it would be a large economic region with 1.1 million people, an international airport, several colleges, good highways and rail, and 2 deep water ports in Fall River, New Bedford. The Chamber has been working to form alliances with Northern Rhode Island for a while,
I hear the chuckle.
according to Rob Mellion, president of the Fall River Chamber. Historically and economically, Hey, check this out. Yes, exactly.
Nice.
Historically and economically, Fall River is a lot like Providence. By acting as one economic cluster, we can increase opportunities. Change has to start here. Our system doesn't shift so well from top down. It shifts from the ground up. But allowing for more opportunity is what government should be pushed to do, Kennedy said. The government has a responsibility to set a level playing field so that any family can succeed if they work hard enough.
Okay, so what that article tells me is that when Jazel says other communities are going to be sending their recycling here, that'll be Providence.
She's talking about
That'll be
trash.
Providence.
No way. Get the hell out of town. Well, weren't we already? Well, wait a minute. Hey, wait, hold on. Now let's bring back a conversation that we were having toward like when the budget was coming out. What isn't Fall River sending its sludge that we were incinerating to Rhode Island as well? Namely, choo choo.
Is that ringing any bells to anybody?
Yes.
We're gonna send our trash out on a train.
That was Rob Mellion who came up with that.
Unbelievable.
Did she just swear just now? She's straight up.
Dude, we're really gonna have to put the rated TVMA on this with the language, strong language.
So
Listener discretion is advised.
I'm not going to read it. I'm just going to talk about the fact that when Joe Kennedy comes to Fall River, the Fall River area, and the media has a conversation with him publicly, why are they bringing up Rob Gronkowski into the conversation? Stop it. Stop it. Stop bringing Rob Gronkowski and the Patriots to conversations with politicians. It's just a humongous way to, quote, humanize himself to the voters. We don't need that. We have a struggling city. We don't need wax poetic about how we're so close to like what Providence is. No, we're not. No, we're not. We're Fall River. We're struggling. We have big time problems that have never been resolved, that haven't been worked on, and we're talking about Rob Gronkowski with the congressional leader. Stop it. By the way, how are we going to win without Rob Gronkowski, man?
Go ahead, Nikki. Your kid.
My youngest daughter, and I've said this actually on air multiple times, maybe even though it was far back in BC6, when we were doing our show at BC6. I said the majority of my daughter's friends were not from Fall River. Their families were not from Fall River. You know where they were from? Pawtucket, Providence.
Pawtucket.
So is that what Providence wants? See, Fall River is always taking. We're always taking other communities' problems. Isn't that where elected officials say we're always taking their problems? This is how we end up taking their problems. They're going to compare, but they're going to lie. New Bedford, Fall River, Taunton, and Providence. And of all four of those cities, which one is the one struggling the most?
All right.
Fall River, right? We're the ones who are struggling the most.
Right.
So it's just, we're the bottom. They want to make their place. Yeah, of course. They want to make Providence better, so they're going to send all their issues here.
Yep. No, that's pretty much it.
Our motto should be, we take everyone's trash.
Jesus. And of course, you would always want to have a trash involved.
I'm not talking about people because the friends that my daughter does have, that aren't from Fall River are fantastic, and so are their families.
No, we know you're talking about physical. You're talking about solid waste, and yes, we're talking. I understand the trash we're talking about, but I do find it hilarious that you'd want to throw the word trash into our city motto. Only you.
That's what it should be, because it is what we boiled up to. It's ultimately what it is.
It's true.
We take everybody else's problems and we don't even fix our own.
I hear
We've
it.
got all these problems, and they're going to try and connect us to all these other places that have problems of their own.
Fix it here.
So when I look at it, in the last 5 years, all those towns, cities that you mentioned have gotten better except for Fall River. We've actually gotten worse.
The way that we're going to justify this is we're going to try and blend our way into other, just on my wall, blend our way into other communities that are succeeding. So instead of Fall River doing the work that it needs to do to get its government right, to get its money right, to get all of its systems working correctly, what we're doing is we're saying, oh, Providence and New Bedford have made improvements, so we're just going to try and jump on that wave and make our town or make our city a part of what they're doing successfully, rather than doing what we need to do to become successful on our own. To me, it's just riding somebody else's coattails more than it is about doing some real strong structural things. The thing is, nobody wants to make unpopular decisions in Fall River. Nobody wants to make decisions that go against what they feel is going to hurt them politically or financially.
No, Ray Mitchell did when he voted for the budget for the trash bags. Remember, it wasn't a popular decision, but he had to make it.
He's so out of control.
Yeah,
he's completely out of control.
With tears in his eyes, I have to do it. I have to. Tears in his eyes, please.
So
crocodile tears.
So people are afraid of making unpopular decisions. They're
What is it?
I said mummy tears.
Mummy tears, nice.
They're afraid of making unpopular decisions. They're afraid of making decisions that they know would decrease the costs, would take the burden off of taxpayers, blah, 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 blah. They don't want to do that. They don't want to do that. They don't realize that if they did start focusing on that goal, all 9 councilors and the mayor together saying, hey, this is our one set goal. We're going to try to make this work and take the burden off taxpayers. They don't realize how that will be so beneficial for them. Instead, they come up with all this hack policy, all this hack crap, and then spend so much time in the community trying to convince everybody that what they're saying and what they do is good. That's what all you need to do is listen to the Ray Mitchell show to hear that. Oh, I'm brave. I'm brave for voting for this.
You know, you just gotta listen to us. Just buy the bags. Just buy the bags. It's unpopular for me to say it though, but you have to just buy the bags, because if you do, this will fix our sanitation problem.
Somebody told me yesterday.
Hold on. Hey, Nikki, buy the purple bags. Has that fixed our sanitation issue?
It wouldn't fix our sanitation issue if every single resident in the city bought a roll of bags.
Hey, Nikki, the $10 a month per unit trash fee is supposed to fix our trash problem. Did that fix our trash problem?
But it didn't. That was part of my whole thing.
I know
It didn't.
I know, that's why I'm having so much fun with this right now. Hey, Nikki, the abolishment of the Sanitation Enterprise Fund, did that fix our problem?
No.
Okay, so here's the thing. We still have a problem with our trash and I'm going to say it's going to happen for at least another decade, and I'm trying to be as nice as possible as I can be with this, but we all know it's going to be probably at least another 30 years.
I'm going to throw in the blue bins were also supposed to help all our trash problems too. Remember that?
Oh, no. Remember, we were getting money when we had the small little bins. Now that we have the carts, we're paying out the, you know what? I'm trying to reel back all the profanity from you right now. So, but no.
I still want to know how many tons of recycling and trash and yard waste are residential only. I've been asking that question for like 2 years, 3 years. I still haven't got the answer.
But the problem is that you're never going to get the answer, because you know why? They don't want to give you an answer. Because the minute that they do, they've tipped their hand, and then every citizen in this city is going to realize that we've been paying all of their other stuff for so long, and by the time it comes back to actually have whoever be responsible to pay for it, they're not going to do it.
Hey, I just want to throw out there too that somebody actually said to me on my wall, because remember on my wall I posted that the purple bags have been a disaster and have contributed directly to the extreme costs that our recycling has gone up on. But the person responded to me and said compliance has been our biggest problem with the trash bags. And I said to him, we could have, and just like you just got done saying, I said to him, we could have full compliance right now, and all it would do is increase our recycling and increase our costs to go through the roof for our recycling. We'd have even more problems. So once I presented that to him, he kind of distracted it and was talking about like, well, no one's talking about our sewage fees. I said, you can directly pinpoint exactly why they had a sewage fee increase because of that stupid situation where they never updated the incinerator, the sludge incinerator. Now we got to ship it to Cranston. That's a very, very particular reason why that fee went up. I'm not making an excuse. I'm just saying you can put your hand on exactly why that happened. But when it comes to this purple bag situation, they have chosen, every single one of them have chosen to support this, even though it's right in their face that it hasn't worked. I'm sorry, Derek.
No.
Well, this is the whole recycling thing. That's why I'm chuckling at this now. Because I said for so long, we've been screaming about the recycling. I've been saying that our recycling is contaminated. That's why we're paying so much. But it didn't fit their agenda. Now it does.
Right.
Now it does. Right? Now it fits their agenda. Because what they're going to tell everybody is, well, the more you recycle, the less purple bags you'll have to buy. But we go back to what can or cannot be recycled. And when you look at what we can and can't recycle, it's not much. Okay? And then we did the thing. I did read quickly that somebody had said somewhere about we have to recycle because it's good for the environment. We have to recycle. Folks, I'm going to tell you this again for the last time. It is a law, okay? A law that whoever collects trash, Allied Republic included, has to separate the recyclable. So in fact, sending our recycling to the transfer station at Allied, right, will actually end up taking more out of our landfills. Because we're dealing with Casella that only takes certain recyclables. They're only going to take what they're making money on.
Right.
Right?
No, that's right.
We can do cardboard. Cardboard's recyclable. The second it gets wet, it's worthless.
Yep.
It's worthless. So here we go. Is it worth us doing all this, buying the carts, having the trash guys come around the second time to pick up recycling when they were doing it in one fell swoop the first time? It's costing us more to recycle.
Yeah.
I would much rather pay $66 a ton because that's what we paid in 2015 according to the Massachusetts, according to the recycling survey. Okay? $66 a ton to get rid of our solid waste for 2015. Non-contaminated recyclables were at 85.
Yep.
And now it's under a contract, guys. That's under a contract.
And
So
now,
this is a company that's collecting recyclables.
yep.
What other company is going to charge us less? If there was a company that was going to charge us less, we'd be at that company.
Absolutely. And right now,
There is,
and right now, we're not even under a contract. We're on a month-to-month thing. So even if Casella wanted to on the fly automatically raise that to whatever they wanted to, we're still not in a position to have someone else come pick up recyclables. So we're still screwed either way.
but Derek, they could do that within a contract.
They could.
They could do that within a contract. When you look at contracts, the contracts are set up for that. That's another reason why I have such a big issue with the recycling transfer station. Okay, so we can collect all the recycling we want. If for some reason there is a shutdown, a strike, the law has changed, federal law has changed. Okay, not for nothing. Trump is president, and he couldn't care less about recycling.
Huh?
He doesn't believe in climate change, really.
Hey, he's recycling the same Republicans into his cabinet, though.
Yeah, they don't care about recycling, Trump.
No, you're right.
They
No.
don't care about recycling. He can put anybody he wants in there. He doesn't care about it. So my thing is okay, so it's so volatile. You're at Kentucky. How many times did Kentucky sit in front of the city council and say the recycling prices are based on oil and it's based on Chinese market? Really? And they're talking about a financial future with this?
All I know is that everyone has always said, get out of the trash business. I mean, it's about time. I think that has to finally happen soon. Get this issue out of here. And you know what? Even if they did, this is still going to be a talking point. We all know that. I mean, no one wants to put this trash issue to bed. Why? Because for some reason, and we've all said it, someone at the end is getting paid. So there's a reason to keep it all here. We've all said it, and just seeing all this happen, it hammers home the point. It really does. I mean, who's making out?
I have decided that I'm going to do what is best for the city of Fall River right now.
You going to run for city council?
And that means that I'm not recycling. Because what would I contribute to throwing away or disposing of my recycling at $109 a ton when it can be disposed of for $66? So, for the cost of bags and everything, I'm actually saving money by not recycling.
You save about maybe $25 to $30 a ton.
Well, at this rate, you're looking at if it's 65, you're looking at almost $40 a ton.
Well, the funny thing is, the news of that article was that uncontaminated recycling is 85.
No. Under the contract, it was 85 with a $25 penalty per ton if it was contaminated. Now that they're off the contract, it's a flat rate, $109 a ton, whether it's contaminated or not. Which
Derek, what that tells me is that every single ton of recycling they've collected was contaminated.
Yep, pretty much. It's exactly what it tells me.
Because if it wasn't, we wouldn't be paying $109.
I get it. I know.
That was just a fight for the man to make it look like we're paying so much more. But what should be shocking to everybody is that non-contaminated recycling costs $85 a ton to dispose of, when solid waste, trash, things that are never going to be reused again cost $66 a ton.
Yep.
I'm going to save the city $20 on my ton for the year.
No.
I'm not buying bags.
No, Nikki.
Nikki,
you're not saving $20. No, you're not saving $20. Now you're saving. Hold on. Actually, it's not 20. You're saving $44 now because it's $109 regardless at this point.
Yeah.
So $44 a ton.
I feel like that my recycling was never contaminated. So I'll just say I'm saving myself.
Well, hey, you say
my stuff was contaminated.
Yeah, then hey, you could say.
I know what you're saying, Derek, but I'm just trying to make it even if they wanted to say it was only $85, because what they're going to say is it's only $109 because it's contaminated.
Right.
So I don't even want to talk about the $109. I'll stick with the $85. So let's say we sign a contract. They take over a recycling transfer station. Is it going to be $85 a ton?
Supposedly in the article they're supposed to reduce it to what, 30 to 35 a ton?
To 30. So there's the thing, okay? So how the hell is it going from 85 to 30?
That was said with some sort of level of disgust and vim and vigor, dude. You literally wrestlered that up right there. You just Vince McMahon to that shit. Holy hell.
It's disgusting. That's when I look at the fact, that's what I think about. So when I see it like that, it is disgusting. It's disgusting because I'm not a city councilor, and I can see how the city is ripping off taxpayers.
Nikki,
If I were a city councilor, that would be the first thing I would say is hell no. If you want to, I'll be willing to talk about a transfer station, a recycling transfer station for Fall River recyclables only. The second you start talking about other communities, and now we're all, oh yeah, Providence and whatnot. They're gonna train their recycling into Fall River, right? Which is still trash, folks. Even if it's recyclable, it's still trash. Are we trash? Are we okay with the rest of the world sending us their trash? That's what I just don't get. We're not trash people. If we want other people to respect us and treat us better, we need to take care of ourselves first. You talk about people, I hate people on welfare. Nobody ever wants to work.
No, they don't.
They're not paying that.
No, they don't, because and it's been obvious since day one, because because we had perfect example. We had a group that was supposed to help with budgeting and all that stuff, and we hold on, stop.
Hey, wait, we gotta go after this.
Hold on, let me finish this. And you had minds on there that were supposed to be financially sound minds.
Oh man.
And the ideas that they had were to continue to raise taxes, to keep fees, and basically do everything that everyone's been doing for the last however many years. This is the forward thinking that we have in these new positions, in this new budgets and preparatory and baloney. I don't care what you call it. Oh, and the theatrics of the school department. But seriously, that was what we came up with financial gurus coming up with ideas.
It was a great time.
That was pathetic.
The other piece of a puzzle, another puzzle piece to a recycling transfer station is, now I know the answer. Obviously, if they're opening a recycling transfer station, it would be under an enterprise fund. Okay.
Oh.
Now, what that would then allow the city to do is then charge a resident for their recycling. Do you hear me?
Yep, I heard you.
Because that's going to happen too. That'll happen too. We'll be paying, because it'll be so expensive,
Two of them. Both of them were in foreclosure.
But no, I know. I hear you. I hear you, Nikki. Trust me. I get you. The problem is that with what's going on in the city, with the political what's the best way to put it? The political vibe maybe in the city, maybe that's the best way to say it. This is not going to change overnight. This is not going to change in a year or 2 years. We need people in there that actually have genuine care, and not mom tears and not crocodile tears or fake tears or whatever the hell you want to call it. You need to have people that have genuine care about the people in this city, about what the struggles are in this city. You have a city that barely survives on $30,000 a year on average, if that. Okay. Thankfully, I do a little bit better than that. Okay, I'm great, but the majority of the people that are struggling, even you go as far as even the retirees that aren't even making that much as a pension or for or Social Security or whatever, whatnot. You have people that are in that position that they don't care. I mean, a lot of the majority of the city council will always say that they care. This is my Fall River. What happened to my Fall River? What's going on? But when you give the crocodile tears to everyone, and you do something completely different to the citizens of the city that elected you to watch out for them, people need to wake up. This change doesn't start with government. This change starts with the voters. And if the voters can't do that, if the voters can't see what's in front of them, then we're just going to continually repeat every year, every 2 years, until someone finally cracks their skull open and says, look at what's going on. This isn't working. Let's fix it. All right, I'm done. I'm getting off my soapbox because we're already
adding on to that, we need to get more people to vote.
That too.
We need to get more people in the city, more residents in the city of Fall River to vote. We have a lot of people who are property owners, but they're not Fall River residents, so they can't vote.
Right. But
they don't have to pay. You know what I mean? And that's another part of it. I think they know exactly what they're doing. I'm watching all these little single family homes pop up, and it's to create the next 5 years. It's to create the next voting piece. It's to create their own little bubble. And I got my needle and I'm popping at it.
But the problem is that you have the people, you have the landlords that don't live in the city, that they probably don't care. Though, but the problem is that there's the people that do live in those apartments, those residences. They do live in the city. They should care. They need to care. And the problem is that they don't. And how do we know they don't? They don't go out to vote. Now, there's every opportunity that they have to have an early vote, that to mail in their ballot, an absentee ballot. They have every opportunity to do so. When they don't do that, that just further shows the fact that they don't care. That's my problem.
Conversation with a lot of residents in the city of Fall River, especially the poorer areas in the city of Fall River. We have many people who are in Fall River who cannot legally vote, and not because they're not residents, but because they have criminal records, things like that. They can't vote.
Yeah. But still, but the registered voters that can vote, you only see. What is it? Only 30 or 40% of voters actually vote. Not even. It's pathetic. You have I don't know how many registered voters in the city of Fall River, and for a mayoral race where we had 16,000 people. No, not even. It was 13 or 14,000 people voting. We had more people vote in a recall election to get rid of a mayor.
Mm-hmm.
How sad is that?
Which lends itself into we need to find out what's going to get people excited to go vote. That's the thing. They don't realize people, when they're just living in their own, they're not homeowners. When you're not a homeowner and you're just a tenant, how many times have I heard, oh, you don't pay property taxes, you shouldn't pay anything. Don't tell me I don't pay property taxes. I may not physically pay property taxes, but when I hand my landlord rent every month and he pays his property taxes, I'm helping to support his property tax payment.
No, I agree. Absolutely, 100%.
You know what I'm saying? But a lot of residents don't realize that because they're not voting, that's what happens. It's how people get into office that are forcing them to buy purple bags. A lot of people don't understand.
No, I hear you.
And that's where my conversations have been with people. Getting people excited and making them realize, people worry about a presidential election. How many times do you take care of your home first before you start going anywhere else?
No, you're right, 100% right.
You take care of home and you trickle out from there, the ground up. Just read that from one of the articles somebody was quoting, the ground up. Well, our elected officials don't think that way.
No.
Even if they pretend they think that way, they don't. They're not worried about the guy, the low man on the totem pole.
They don't. And you're right. The only people, unfortunately, to me, a lot of the only people that the politicians really cater to are the ones that line their pockets when it comes to election time, so they can go out there and they can put their signs out. That's the only people that they care about. You even had an experience where you had someone that was running for an office, asking for someone else that lived at where you're at, and the only reason and you're like, hey, I vote too, and they didn't want to talk to you because you weren't on a list. That's pathetic. If you're gonna run,
yeah, I was very.
If you're gonna
on a specific list.
Yes, if you're going to run, and I'm already starting to see this with some of the people that have announced they're running for city council. If you're going to run, and there's a question out there, and you basically say this is not the forum to answer. No. Any forum that's public is a place to answer your damn question. If I have a question and I go on Facebook and I go to your personal page and I say, here's my question, what say you? And you come back and saying this is not the forum and this is not the place to answer the question, I'm sorry, you've just turned off a voter.
Well, I want to debate. I'm not running, but I want to debate everybody who is.
Can you?
I want to debate.
The problem here's the problem. I was about to suggest the fact of you pulling papers and getting signatures, and then all of a sudden not running and voting and just being part of the debates. Problem is, you would probably get enough votes to get in, and we know it. You know. I'm telling you for a fact. You will at least make it past the primaries. You'll be in the top 18. Guaranteed. Guaranteed.
I'm pretty confident I would make the top 18.
I'm calling it right. Nikki, I pray you do it. I pray you do it. Because I swear you will make the top 18 and then you'll go on to another set of discussions, and it would just be hilarious if you made the top 9 and you knocked TJ into 10.
What? The heck?
Well, imagine if me and TJ were tied. That'd be cool.
It'd make for some interesting podcasts.
No, Nikki. The whole point is imagine if you took 9th and TJ took 10th.
I wouldn't be mad about that.
I feel bad.
I wouldn't feel bad about that.
It would just be.
I'm not competitive about it. You know what would suck? What would suck is if she's on there alone without me. You know?
Oh, that's true.
Because then she's got to stick to like a bunch of hacks. You know? I mean, there'd be like one or two people.
It'd be a musical.
There'd be one or two people that she could probably like actually really like engage with.
Yeah.
But she'll be so disgusted with like the grandstanding that's going on around her. It would be a horror show for her.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be able to I wouldn't be able to hold my tongue. Like if somebody was over talking or if I felt they were bloviating, I wouldn't be able to just sit there and hold a poker face. Not even a half that poker face. I would say something.
Yes, we know.
I would say something. I'd be like,
Point of order.
You're just bloviating at this moment. Blowing smoke. Let's go.
Can how many? I'd be trying to figure out what the over under is for you saying point of order.
You wouldn't want her alone without somebody that like the city would only have one counselor looking out for people's pockets.
Oh my dear God, I was kidding.
Oh.
Why don't you relax?
Oh, I'm just like
it's funny.
Like,
you just think of that now.
Like I wouldn't even be mad. Like I wouldn't be mad that she won. That wouldn't matter to me. What would bother me is that she's up there by herself, fighting for taxpayers, while maybe one or two might be doing the same thing.
I wouldn't be up there by myself, though. I would be up there with every resident of the city of Fall River. God,
Pancakes.
I wish, anybody who ran, you guys need to open your brains a little bit more. Like, I just, you're not alone. The whole reason you're here is to represent the city.
Right.
So I wouldn't be alone. I would ultimately represent the city.
No, I think you're going to be alone when you're talking about the council, not the city. Talking about the council. If you're up there with, I'd say, 6 other people that are literally Hack Show City USA, and you're up there with 2 or 3 other guys that are actually looking out for taxpayers in the city, like you say, it's going to be it's not going to be fun. It's not going to be fun. And you will be that person. You will be that person calling out and yelling and saying, "Hey, can you stop grandstanding for 5 minutes so we can get some work done, please? Thank you."
I would never yell. I wouldn't have to yell.
But I just personally, I would love to see you run. I think you'd be one of the best city councilors we've ever had in the city. But like the way that Derek's like rubbing his hands and smiling about, to me, that would not be fun. That would not just because I'm at the end of it.
No. It was a.
Do you know what I mean?
It was a joke. To be honest with you, to be very, very honest with you, I would not be surprised if you made it on with no problem whatsoever. I think a lot of people truly do support you, and they want to see you win because of everything that you've said and everything you've done. And this is just not me. And I'm just trying to be as bluntly honest as I can. I just think that you're gonna have a lot of issues with a lot of people who are going to look at you and be like, they listen to certain other people on Facebook where you flip flop and stuff, and I'm like, dude, tell me where that happens. It doesn't happen, but anyway, that's just me. I hope you run. I hope you win. And Nikki, it would just be hilarious to see you it would just be awesome to see you at the debates, just so I could
Definitely want a debate.
just because I want to see how uncomfortable people get. And there's going to be at least 5 current city councilors that will be absolutely uncomfortable with you there.
That'd be hilarious.
I'm going to try to keep pursuing. I'm going to try to keep putting this in your head right now. I really am.
Well, I really want a debate, so I don't want to be a city councilor, but I really do want a debate.
Right.
So basically what you want to do is you want to get there to the primary and then you're going to drop out, right? Is that what the deal is?
Well,
We're approaching like an hour, like a half hour longer, and I actually have to work in about an hour. So we're going to need to wrap this whole thing up. I apologize, guys. We're going to have to wrap it up.
Oh, I love. Oh, this is probably been the best.
I can go to work and you guys can chit chat on the line, but I gotta. You know how to shut down the podcast.
No, I gotta get out of here too. So, but no, I mean, Nikki, please keep that in the back of your head. I would love to see it happen.
I just want to debate.
We know.
I'm looking forward to debates myself, to be honest. Looking very forward to them. Anyway, City Talk.
Let me just say this one thing. I do think we need a real debate. And as much as I love the people's debate, the questions were strategically thought of.
Calculated. They were calculated questions.
The questions didn't exactly revolve around what people want to know about.
Ooh.
Some things they did, which I'm glad we had, what's his name, Jim Rapley.
You all right over
Jim
there?
Rapley. It's a mistake I was making. I was cracking a joke, man. I was glad he was there because he pulled out, he wanted certain questions to be asked that may not have been asked had he not been there. So I do think we need a debate where people get to forward questions in and they're really asked, not picked in a certain way. You know what I mean? I think we do need that. I think we need better debates. Last year we had better debates and they weren't, the mayoral debates were better because Jordan was there.
Yes, they were.
And I don't care what anybody says. What he said, there were a lot of things he said nobody else would have said, but needed to be said. They need to be called out on the things that they say, especially at a debate. So I would really love to be there to ask questions. Maybe I'll make my own debate.
We gotta go, Nikki.
Nikki, I hope to see you next week. I really do. We missed you here, but actually we really didn't miss you because we had you here for over 2 hours.
Right. We gotta go.
Yeah, my kids still haven't called me.
Hey, if you got more you want to say, post on Facebook, man. Everybody wants you back on Facebook.
No. The funny part, real quick. The funny part is that.
Saying I'm wanted.
Of course you.
Saying I'm wanted.
Nikki, did you read every single one of those posts? It wasn't, that's such a great point. It's like, no, welcome back. We've missed you. Almost every single one of them in the beginning.
Even the mayor posted on your wall. You're good.
I'm missed.
Yeah. So anyway,
We'll see. It's going to be an interesting year for sure.
have a great day. Tell everyone I said I love them. And as far as the show, guys, the show will be back on next week. As far as I know, everything's all good, right?
Here in Fall River.
I'll be here.
All right. So come back on. Thanks for listening, and we will see you next week.
Bye.